I remember trying to become a better Muslim. I was trying to get on my deen, start praying consistently, read more and more of the Quran, but it just wasn't happening. Then I made one change and I instantly started praying consistently. I was reading more and more of the Quran. I was getting closer and closer to Allah. You see, there was a time in my life where I was religiously down bad. I was completely neglecting my religion. I was not praying, I was not reading the Quran, I was doing none of the habits that I as a Muslim should be doing. And honestly, it felt like there was this emptiness in my life, and I wanted to fill that emptiness up with religion. I wanted to become a better Muslim, and I tried to make those changes. I tried to get consistent with praying. I tried to read like the Quran and understand it and whatnot. I made those decisions and I tried to step in that direction, but it was so hard. I was constantly at war with myself. I was at war with Shaitan. Even though my soul was screaming for me to jump onto the right path, there was something that was holding me back. It was like I was stuck in my position. I would get distracted. I had all these doubts. I had all these negative thoughts, and I could just not do what I knew I needed to do. But there was a moment in time when everything just switched around. It had been months of me trying to become a better Muslim, but nothing was working. And then I started telling myself, oh yeah, I'm a good Muslim. Even though I wasn't. I was being delusional, I was lying to myself. But it actually worked. You see, we don't achieve goals, we achieve characters. And these characters then end up achieving the goals we want to achieve. You see, when I told myself I'm a good Muslim, I'm the type of man that prays 5 times a day, I do this, I do that, it became so much easier for me to do those habits. If I came up to you and asked you, are you a good Muslim? The chances are you would probably say no. And that's exactly why you are not a good Muslim. If I went to the righteous, the pious man, if I asked him that same question, he would say, oh yeah, I'm a good Muslim. I do this, I pray, I read the Quran, I give charity, whatever. He would just confidently say that, yeah, I am a good Muslim. And that's the beautiful part about it. And the reason it's so hard for you to become a good Muslim is because you have the wrong beliefs about yourself. You have the wrong thoughts in your head, and that's why it's so hard for you to form this new habit. While the pious man has this belief, like yeah, he is a good Muslim, and then he has constant reminders and thoughts of his identity, of him being a good Muslim. And what we can learn from this is that if we put those same beliefs, those same thinking processes, and those same reminders in you, then you will yourself become a good Muslim. Because if you believe that you are a good Muslim, if you start thinking like a good Muslim, your thoughts will lead into actions, and you will just start acting like a good Muslim. Think about that righteous man again. What are his thoughts? He probably plans out his whole day according to the 5 prayers that like this time I'm gonna pray, and then I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna pick up my kids, or whatever he does, right? He has these thoughts. Because of his thoughts, it's so much easier for him to do the right habits, to do the right things. Well, now it seems pretty obvious that obviously the righteous man is doing all those things and he's thinking like that. How can you and I learn from the righteous man? Well, we're gonna start believing the same things as a righteous man would. I want you to start telling yourself that yeah, I am a good Muslim. Yes, I do pray 5 times a day. Yes, I do read the Quran. I do this, I do this. And I want you to also start having more and more thoughts about your religion. And the first step to that is just have like an adhan app on your phone, so you get reminders of when the salah is and all of that stuff. So you have constant reminders of your new identity, and you have constant reminders of you becoming this better version of yourself. And when you have these reminders and we have these thoughts and beliefs, you will just become that person. Another thing you can do is just visualize yourself being a good Muslim. And it's basically you practicing in your mind. Practice you getting up at the time of Fajr and then going and praying Fajr. Practice you praying and reading the Quran. Visualize all of that in your mind, because there's this very weird thing that whatever we imagine or visualize in our head actually comes into practice. So to prove my point, they once did a study where they had a group of 2 people, and one of the peoples were throwing a basketball and they were actually throwing it in real life and they were practicing it in real life. And the other group were practicing in their heads. After a month's time, the group that was actually practicing in their heads had made so much more progress in throwing the basketball than compared to the group that was actually throwing it in real life. So the power of your mind is like very, very powerful. So if you just practice in your mind, it will become more natural for your mind and body to do these things in real life. And before you know it, you would actually be slowly and surely becoming a better Muslim. One last thing I want to leave you with is, if you're not already doing it, is to make dua that Allah pulls you closer to Him, that Allah makes you a better Muslim. So do your visualizations, tell yourself that you are that good Muslim, and start having those thoughts and reminders in your life, and you will literally see yourself actually doing those things in real life. I want to thank you for your time. Scroll down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go watch my video on the 7 ways to get closer to Allah. Thank you.